always roll out the so-called experts with talking points, but you should just ignore them. Here's the truth. No trained lawyer on earth believes that Buffalo head guy and the boys, or Donald Trump speaking at the Ellipse, were engaged in a serious effort to overthrow the government of the United States. No one believes that.
When your guy can't get a win in court in front of trained lawyers and judges, the only card you have left is to just dismiss all of that reality and simply claim that no one serious believes the things that you believe.
No one believes that.
And depending on the hearing, court case, or cable news interview, Trump's story about January 6th has shifted from who's responsible to who wanted it to happen multiple times.
For an insurrection, there needs to be an organized, concerted effort to overthrow the government of the United States through violence. And this
So
riot
your point is that a chaotic effort to overthrow the government is not an insurrection?
No, we didn't concede that it's an effort to overthrow the government either, Justice Jackson, right? None of these criteria were met. This was a riot. It was not an insurrection. The events were shameful, criminal, violent, all of those things, but it did not qualify as insurrection, as that term is used in Section 3.
Even the energy of the day is a fluid concept for conservatives that simply can't acknowledge that they empowered a power-hungry, aspiring autocrat. Because again, if the day was shameful, criminal, and violent, why did the guy that suddenly wants to distance himself from his supporters' shameful, criminal, and violent actions on his behalf, why did he praise them after it happened?
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I can't say for every single one, because a couple of them probably they got out of control. They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day.
That's how manipulating reality works, especially after cementing so many followers' belief that one guy is all-powerful and all-knowing. You can then call the foot soldiers Antifa and BLM and then change it later. You can deny insurrection for years, all the way up until it's necessary to call it one for the sake of blaming it on your political opponents.
And the one thing I'll say is they kept saying about what I said right after the insurrection. Because I think it was an insurrection caused by Nancy Pelosi.
So while the narrative keeps his voters guessing where their position will be next week, there's always opportunistic actors waiting in the wings to prove their dedication to his cause.
You would be willing to serve in a Trump administration. Had you been vice president on January 6, 2021, what would you have done?
I stood up for the Constitution. I believe it was
what would you have done if you were vice president?
I would not have done what Mike Pence did. I don't think that was the right approach. I specifically stand by what I said on the House floor, and I stand by my statement, which was there was unconstitutional overreach. There was unconstitutional overreach in states like Pennsylvania, and I think it's very important that we continue to stand up for the Constitution and have legal and secure elections, which we did not have in 2020. And the tens of millions of Americans agree with me, Caitlin.
Elise Stefanik hid with her congressional colleagues behind barriers and under seats, hoping that she wouldn't be murdered by anyone mistaking her for a Democrat. But 3 years later, she's seen the January 6th committee's evidence of Trump angrily denying any accountability for his incitement of violence or acknowledgement of losing, and still vows to assist him in his lies. These are the qualifications for a guy looking for yes men, but they're actually warning signs to the rest of the country.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday, and to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement. You do not represent our country. And if you broke the law, you can't say that. I'm not going to. I already said you will pay. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?